How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs co-beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping in today. As I told you yesterday, today's topic on the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast, we will be discussing the starting offensive line grades from Week 6 against the Detroit Lions, a game where I thought the Detroit Lions had the upper hand or were going to have the upper hand. Kansas City, they just reminded everyone, when they're good, they're good. And that's the last week without Rashee Rice. So a lot of good things are coming their way for Kansas City. And so long as the offensive line stays upright as well as helping Patrick Mahomes, I think that there's a chance where we could see this team once again prove some doubters wrong, ending the claims of is the dynasty dead? We'll just have to wait and see. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here are the offensive line grades, starting offensive line grades. That is, according to Pro Football Focus from Week 6. So we'll start off with the starting left tackle. As we know, Josh Simmons was unable to play yesterday due to a family matter. Only good prayers go out to Simmons and his family. I hope all is well. But in that regard, they needed someone to step up, and Jalen Moore, the man who got the most money this offseason by the Kansas City Chiefs, he stepped up. He was ready to go. And I would say that he had a very, 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 very good game. Starting at left tackle, 64 total snaps played, overall grade of a 67.7. He thrived in his run blocking. In fact, he had the highest run blocking grade out of the starting offensive line with an 80.8. As you know, the Kansas City Chiefs, they have struggled with stopping the run. And I think that, or rather, just blocking anybody rather. And I think that he does a good job at protecting Mahomes in that area. That's a crucial statistic to look at. He also earned a 45.3 pass blocking grade. So there's room for improvement. That definitely brought him down considering how well his run blocking grade was. But with all in all, for a guy who had to step up, and he stepped up in a way that I thought that was admirable, in a way to where, at the end of the day, if Josh Simmons, it could have been Jalen Moore if Josh Simmons never recovered as fast as he did from his injury. He proved that he can once again be a starting left tackle. He can be a starting right tackle. He can go wherever he wants. A great pickup by Kansas City, and I'm impressed with the first way that he started in a game this season. Next to him at left guard, starting left guard, was Kingsley Suamataia. He earned an overall 51.8 PFF grade, with his best area being in pass blocking with a 65.5. However, there are a lot of things that are positive about that. I think that Kingsley, there's a lot of room to improve for Suamataia. I think that there's a lot of areas where there's, still a second-year player still trying to find his footing. But all in all, I was fairly impressed with the way that he played. But he earned a 65.5 pass blocking grade, a 46.8 run blocking grade, 0 penalties, no penalties for the Chiefs yesterday, something that had been plaguing them, especially last week, to where we saw them lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Creed Humphrey, once again, a admirable performance at center, 64 snaps, overall grade of a 72.8, a pass blocking grade of an 83.5. Yes, I said 83.5. He had the best pass blocking grade, while Jalen Moore had the best run blocking grade. Creed Humphrey also had a 68.4 run blocking grade. And I've said it so many times, I think Creed Humphrey is the center stone of this offensive line. And if he's on, the rest of the offensive line looks good next to him. And I think we just saw that once again in defending and protecting Patrick Mahomes. And also, there was a lot of pressure that was being added. The Chiefs offensive line just for it being their weakness last season in a game where it could have gone up against a Super Bowl contender in the Detroit Lions. It was very impressive to see them hold a stern offense and defense to allow Patrick Mahomes to get going. I thought that was very impressive. Trey Smith, starting right guard, 64 total snaps with a 73.5 overall grade. He had a 72.9 pass blocking grade and a 70.2 run blocking grade. Overall, he was the most consistent in all areas. I think that it was fairly well, and it's the reason why he's getting paid the big bucks. Still, though, we had kind of a small weak link at the right tackle area. I've talked about him before, and I don't ever want to be ragging on Jawaan Taylor, but he has been slowly progressing forward. So in week 3, he had a 41.9 overall grade. In week 4, he had a 51.9 overall grade. And I know that in week 5, he had a 69.2 overall grade, a very impressive, but yet he kind of came back down to earth against the Detroit Lions. He had a 56.6 overall grade with the 52 grade in the pass blocking department and a 57.2 grade in the run blocking department. But it was encouraging to see that Jawaan Taylor didn't issue any penalties on his name, which has been an issue for him. And it could tell because the offensive line needed to do as well as they could to help Patrick Mahomes get this offense going to take down a very strong offense in Detroit. And that's what it came down to, folks. Going forward now that you get Rashee Rice back into the mix for the Kansas City Chiefs in week 7 against the Las Vegas Raiders, if they can carry over this kind of success, no penalties whatsoever from any unit on the team, but specifically more on the offensive line, if they can carry that over into a divisional matchup, get above 500 for the first time, a winning record, things could start turning up for the Kansas City Chiefs. But as always, you guys know the deal. Be sure you follow me over on X at Dom Minchella, where I post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs while we lead into week 7 against the Raiders, as well as the rest of the season that is ahead. You can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI. Everything gets posted there, whether it be columns, opinions, articles of galore, podcasts, live game threads, gamers, social media reacts, post-game, press conferences, you name it. Kansas City Chiefs on SI is the best place to get your Kansas City Chiefs news. As always, folks, be kind to one another, and I will see you tomorrow.